Yo, welcome back to another YouTube video. It's another thought process. This is D4 rank status. This was an absolute banger of a game. A lot of mistakes. So this is going to be one of the first thought process. I'll explain a lot of my mistakes that I made. Which I do mistakes a lot, but when you can capitalize and still win with your mistakes and still overcome those, and it helps. So this is like a learning process. Real quick though, I just want to thank everybody. We are now partnered on YouTube. Thanks to you guys watching my videos, supporting me and stuff. And it was supposed to be like a whole month process. I was supposed to probably get it at the beginning of next year. Because when I filed it in 2 days ago, not even 2 days ago, it says it's going to take like a month, like a whole month, and it literally only took like a day and a half. Which is absolutely insane. So I appreciate everyone watching, supporting. You guys are gonna get ads now. You gotta love the ads, you know. But I really do appreciate it. Thanks for supporting. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's an absolute banger. Let me just tell you that. Again, it's filled with me making a lot of mistakes, and I'm going to explain why I made those mistakes, but how I still capitalized, even though I was messing up a lot. So hope you guys enjoy the video. All right. 100% recommend it. So to start this game, this is probably one of my favorite spots to land, and it's Launchpad. Launchpad, if you land this high ground up here, by the way, oh no, he's gonna die up top. We didn't know he was AFK, and he got stuck up there for a second. He was able to get down, or that would have costed the whole game. But land up high like this. That way you have overlook over the whole entire area. And you'll be able to call out where people are. You'll be able to lock down teammates, help them out in any direction, honestly, with that high ground. And normally whoever holds that high ground wins those fights, if those fights last there. Because it is a battle of high ground, and if you keep it, that team's either going to have to try to push you, or they're just going to have to try to rotate. And if they rotate, you have a sniper. So normally you can knock somebody, then push down. But there are a few mistakes I make throughout this video, and that's perfectly fine. Normally whenever I show videos, it's normally me not really making mistakes. I'm kind of capitalizing on like what I teach. And this is kind of what happens when you kind of lose sight of that. But you should still be able to like kind of recover when you realize your mistakes. This is also a good gameplay to show snipers and how you should kind of play snipers. So you guys see my just like my play style. My play style is just pretty much, I always try to bubble fight. I try to always outsmart, outplay. When I use snipers, it's pretty much putting the team on your back. You're putting down a lot of damage. You're making the opening plays with the sniper, and you're not really in front too much. You're always way in the back. Also with sniping, it's one of those things where you have to realize when you have to stop sniping. Not like pick a different weapon, but like stop sniping, switch to your other weapon, and push with your team. Just because, if you're not putting out like a lot of damage, if you're not making any big changes during the fight, like you're not knocking people, you're not hitting people in the head, you're not even hitting people at all. You just gotta switch to your other weapon and push with your teammates, or it's just gonna be, you're just gonna die with your team, or just your teammates are gonna die and you're gonna have to red out the rest of the game. If I said that correctly, I don't know. I feel like I bot out when I try to explain things. But again, launch pads, it's a huge area. I love landing there. It can get pretty hectic. It can have third parties. But again, you gotta, sometimes you get a beacon over there you can scan on top of the tower you land on, or there's one over here where we're rotating right now. And this next, I think is it Storm Chase? I don't know what it's called. I'm gonna buy this ship up here. Or not ship. I don't know what it is. It's something. Stormcatcher? Something. There's a lot of storm things in this. Again, never take these, especially in like in pubs, doesn't really matter, but never really take these until your full team's there. Or just send the Wraith to do it first, and then you guys go and follow up. But I just like going as well because, I can always just bubble my whole team. Prolix, as you see, got the GOC jump right there. But again, I enjoy showing these thought processes, especially when I make a lot of mistakes. And I feel like a lot of these ranked games, like every single time I upload a new video of this, I'm always using a different set of weapons. So this is the R9 longbow combo. He probably used the owner of the fucking rate my poo. You might just make a bank. Yeah, I don't know. I have the game volume turned down just a tad. Not a tad. I have it turned down a lot so I can focus on talking. You guys can mostly hear my voice and not what's going on in game. But if you can hear what's going on in game, it's an interesting conversation that, it was interesting. We have interesting conversations whenever we are playing ranked. Because again, there's a lot of downtime when you're rotating. Again, there's already 13 squads. Um, C5 with the big misses.
Whole team on the lift right now.
Now is just a good opening shot I did right there. And now is where the messing up comes in. This was not by me. This was by Prolix. So when you play with a Gibby, you want to make sure, or just in general, when you're in the bubble like that, you want to play on the outside. I will literally rewind it real quick. This is the first time I'll do this. So when he's fighting, alright, you should always be aware where your teammates are. Even if this is you as a Gibby, even if it's not, and you have this angle. You need to relay to your teammates, which I did not do. Y'all cannot see my face. I'm focused. But how he fights is he's fighting inside. So the one time he went outside, I was able to shoot the guy he was fighting, but he stayed inside the bubble the entire time, and this fuse did not want to leave. Thankfully he was able to knock, but again, he lost a good bit of health, and then he pushes him by himself and gets knocked right there. Bad part of me is just by staying up there so long. The other mistake is simply I should have pushed right after I hit her that hard. I try to get the cheeky headshot on her right there. And again, I'm just going to have to... I'm playing it safe. I'm batting up. I know I have to reload. She should have already been dead by now. I should have already pushed her, which was so dumb of me. Got her. Push back with a melee, which you should always try to do. I try to do it again, and I auto-lock to the knock guy, which I absolutely hate. Again, keep that arm shield up at all times, and sometimes you have the ego with Gibby. So the beginning part right there, I should have helped Prolix by just going in the bubble. That was a mistake right there on my part, but a mistake on his part was he didn't force the fuse out, which you should always do. Is just force the fuse out of position so your other teammate that has the off angle can hit him, so you don't actually fight that full one-on-one. I should have just chased the Ash after I hit her for over 100 the first time. When I went down low, came up top, of course, beamed her, meleeed her. So what those melees are is as soon as you pretty much out of your clip, it's honestly solid the melee because it throws them off guard, especially if they still have ammo trying to shoot at you. It throws off their aim and everything, but it was just multiple mistakes I made right there. It happens. I was able to capitalize, use my abilities correctly. Especially the arm shield. I know that's kind of like a cheapy or like a cheeky or cheap and cheeky thing to say and do. But you have to keep that arm shield up, especially when you're low on health. Honestly, but I had your whole backside towards where the door was. And right now I'm explaining to Prolix that I had his whole backside. So again, when you're the person in the bubble, you want to try to force that person outside to the direction your teammates are in. I think it might be a solo raid. I feel like I didn't explain that fight right. I don't know what's going on right here. I have no idea. She's kind of scared. It's a wraith crouching around over there. She just ported? No, she didn't. And I could have shot that to do damage, but there's no point because it just draws more people closer to us that we don't really want. We're not with you. We're definitely not. We're not with you at all. All right. Yeah, it was just a solo. It was the solo rate they killed.
New team that finished them. They're backing up though.
All right, I'm getting top this rooftop. Again, holding height like this is huge. 55 on this wraith back here, purple. this is one of those
I
things
got
is
a whole
like if you
backside
feel like
right
you're
now. I
not,
can't see
you know,
around
doing
this
enough
corner
damage, you
right
should
here.
always just get off these angles.
I have it. They're walking.
55 on Ray.
Had it left.
55 on her again.
Look at the guy in the loss. He hasn't taken.
And the reason I'm like staying back here is because I am laying out damage. But if we chase these people, you know, we're just gonna get hit in our back as well. So that's why I stayed back, and I was doing a lot of damage as they were crossing. So I feel like I didn't need to push with my teammates then. And they both are escape characters. They both are movement characters, so I know they can get out whenever they need to. If y'all want to loot any boxes over there. And right there is me checking behind me because people can still rotate behind us. And I at that time, like I felt like someone was going to be behind us.
I'm chilling.
I just saw a kid shut a door right here.
All right. I'm still kind of like staying back here, making sure no one gets his backside. Right another reason why we're not fully aping teams is there's 7 squads left. I already have 3 KP, so I'm already plus 8 on RP. So I'm kind of big vibing. When you're starting to get positive for RP is when you can relax, you know. So there's no reason to do anything crazy. Yeah, we could go out and get a lot more kills, but when you're trying to get RP, it's best just to, you know, kind of play it safe if you're trying to actually climb and rank up. That was better, your fucking mouth and your fucking ass. Shit after that one. Did that one burn, Reese?
Mildly.
And I absolutely love the 48 scope. I never used that much when I was on Xbox. When I switched to PC, it felt like a lot crispier. And I've been using the 48 scope ever since then, which is awkward for a controller player to use a 48 because there's no aim assist whatsoever with 6 times and up.
I don't think they're coming in. So.
That could be a lie. I feel like there might be some aim assist at least, but it literally does not feel like it at all. I'm just trying to find angles down there on the tunnel. Yeah, above me. And below.
Hey, Pat, 50 blue.
They're right here.
They're
And all that bubble was, again, is to stop them from doing damage. My ult was to keep them from pushing the right side, force them to the left side,
It's mine.
make them go in the storm more.
If I see if I
Wait, they're
And
actually
the ult
swinging
worked.
Right. Portal right. 100%. I saw a wraith. I saw like blue.
Yeah, they are.
shirts.
They're right here.
Zipping.
And again, with the sniping, you just if you stay high ground, stay back, Hit you can hard. just make sure you do enough damage.
There's another
And
guy.
I was able to knock the wraith.
There's another team behind him. Don't push too hard.
I'm getting the
And you know, those solid callouts like that are just huge.
There's a team behind them.
Because if you don't sit there looking around as you're sniping as well, you have to be aware of everything. If I didn't call that team out, my teammates could have pushed this team that we were just fighting in Storm a lot more, and we would have got ate by this third party. But again, you know, I didn't feel like I had to push up with my teammates yet, for the simple fact that, you know, I knocked the Wraith, and I was able to knock the Bloodhound as well, and call out the potential third party if we kept aping too hard.
Okay. I'm gonna do something cheeky here. I'm gonna try
And again, with the sniper, you always want to apply pressure. At this point, I should have gave my shield to one of my teammates because it's already red. And if you're the only one with the sniper, it's good to swap your shield with a teammate, so you can start leveling up their shield. Because you're always going to be doing damage with the sniper. You're always going to be poking people and being annoying. Because your goal late game with these snipers is not only to knock, because if you knock people, you really can't make a play off of it this late in the game. But it messes them up. You know, another team could push them potentially. But you're also wasting all their shields. So that's another thing. Is like, even if you did 55 damage, you know, you gotta think, now they have to take 2
I
cells.
think we stay back for a little bit.
We can rotate now.
We definitely have to watch our right. So I'm going.
That polar bear gave you the charge beam.
Look the photo.
I don't know why I waited for so long. I wanted it to Wraith because I knew my teammates had her.
We all agree with that Octane.
But again, I'm just simply staying back because I feel like the majority of this game, I was putting down a lot of damage.
Team up top's
If
gonna
we
be the
push
problem,
that
be careful.
fully, then we're going to get ate by the team up top. So that's why I keep this angle behind this rock so the team that has the high ground close to that bunker area does not hit me. And I'm able to help my teammates out still. And again, as the sniper, you want to watch every angle possible. And like, see, I look to my right at one point and just made sure they're not pushing.
It's fine. We gotta watch the team up top.
And again, they pinged down low, and I told them just to make sure to watch team up top because that's the main focus at this point. Is if
Still
you have
alive
high
on
ground in this
us,
game,
right?
you're going to win.
Yeah.
I don't think she's moved yet. Octane right here. Grabbing banners. Going down low. Bottom part, going towards you guys. Down low. We might be on the stairs. I don't know.
He's over here.
And again, if you're sniping and you're not trying to do call
I'm
outs as
staying
much
back
as
here on this
possible,
point.
then there's
I'm
no
not moving
point.
anywhere.
You get to see a lot more than
Back
what your
this way, swing
teammates
back
do.
this way. Immediately.
And again, being a Gibby, you're always going to be. You should always be by yourself. If you're splitting your team in half to kind of push different fights or just hold different angles, you as Gibby need to be alone. You have the most
Wrap
health.
around back.
You have the most cover for like your bubble, your ult, everything. It's a huge opportunity that you need to take advantage of. Is the simple fact that you have a lot of health. You know, you can send the Wraith out there, of course. You know, 'cause she can phase out of things, but
Dropping back in the bag.
I feel like it's better to have the Wraith and the other legend, or like in this case, Wraith and Horizon together, and just be by myself because of my health.
Where's it at? What bag?
And they can get to me a lot quicker, and they can also save me with the portal and stuff like that. So again, if you're by yourself as Gibby, and you have a Wraith, you know it's not that bad. You know, just ask for like a simple portal.
He's still peeking right here. That's an easy heady.
Now you guys are about to watch me bot out with the Craves.
65, 45 on the KB.
I missed.
All right, so this is another mistake that I made.
I'm scooting this way.
I should not have this right now. A lot of times I can do okay with the Kraber, but
I think I heard Zip. That's why I'm saying this.
other times, like when you feel like you missed 2 shots, you just have to give up the Kraber. You just absolutely have to give it up.
You get shot in the fucking back.
And again, as soon as we went to focus something down low, the team up top finally starts to push. So that's what we didn't really want, but we wanted to get the team out the way, get the free RP. Now we're setting at plus 80 with 4 squads left. We're setting kind of solid. Now we're being forced down in this lower area, which is not good.
Yeah.
So we just want to take height as soon as possible. The thing is with this height in this circle, you get this circle a lot, but this height is huge to have. But everyone sees you. You get shot at by every angle, and it's hard to hold. This spot is really hard to hold.
They gave me 81.
Again, that's not a good shot. I'm wasting all these Kraber shots. The way you should use Krabers
Safe behind that wall.
is if you're going to get a knock, you got to be able to push off of it. So me keep shooting it the way I am, it's just not helping the team overall because we're not. If I knock one of those kids up there, we're not going to push that because we can't get there in time. That person's going to be already getting up. So I'm just wasting my shots at this point. Again, another mistake. I shouldn't even have the Kraber.
They're moving now.
And again, this spot is really hard to hold. It's extremely hard. You're going to get shot in the back. If you back up too far, you can get shot from the right side down the hill. And of course, what we're looking at in front of us too.
You got it, Shox.
But you guys are going to get this circle a lot. I find myself in this circle majority of the time. Again, another miss that I should be hitting.
Nade's coming in. Nade's coming in. More nades.
We're safe on me. No LOS on both teams.
And you got to have shields and stuff in order to be here. Again, I just used a bat and there it's gone again. It's just, this spot is not good to hold. It's extremely hard and difficult.
I'm throwing all on this team. We gotta ape them, honestly.
They're zipping up. They're zipping up.
And I another mistake, you know. I threw alt, wanting to
No,
push
no,
it,
no,
and we just weren't able to.
I'm tethered. I'm
Play
fucking
here, play
dying,
here, play
bro.
here, play
I'm
here.
phoenixing. I'm phoenixing.
I'm dead here.
All that alt did pretty much was just gave us cover just to get out of that area. But that was not the intent. I wanted to be able to hurry up and push them, but we had the team behind that gets high ground, so there's just nothing we could do except for just push down. And it's not a bad thing to lose high ground, as long as you're safe
Stay right
and
there,
you
stay
have a
just
way
watch
of trying to
this.
get it back. But again, we just weren't able to hold it.
50 on the bloodhound.
A solid
145
145 right there, and they're fighting, so that was the first good shot I had.
Crack one up
Play
there.
underneath him.
But again, if you're in these situations, you can still overcome these fights, even though they have high ground. They still have to fight each other. But it does suck being on the low ground.
Quickly play here.
I'm just messing up all kinds. But this just goes to show, like, if you still try to play it smart with your team, even if you try to recover from your mistakes, you know, you're still able to know your placement, like where you need to be, positioning wise. You can still recover from bad mistakes. And this game was just full of them, honestly. Like right there, I could have clung up. I have no idea. You know, a lot of people say like, why did I get shot? I have no idea why I got shot. I have Prolix
Drop
already
down,
up
drop down,
there.
drop down.
I have Rip Currents going up, and I'm just in the water, and I get blasted. So I wasn't able to help my team. Now it's a 3v3, I think. Or no, I think it's a 3v2.
I'm batting.
I have no more shields.
But it's just this situation you don't want to be in. We're low ground. Thankfully, we have cover. Just make sure whenever
I can
you're in
drop
areas to look around to see what all is covered, like in the end game, like end circle, when it starts to close down all the way. But I have 4 shots. I should honestly capitalize on them.
145 on him.
The 145, you know, it's solid. It's getting their shields down. The only problem with me only hitting 145s is the simple fact that they have a lot of boxes up there now. They had a fresh fight. There's a lot of loot.
Once they fall, we have to just
And
over here.
again, I should never have had the Kraber. Even though Gibby's best because of the arm shield, he's able to exchange shots. Able to stay up for a lot longer with the ADS and stuff. But I just missed way too many. So again, you know, if you have someone that's really strong with the Kraber, don't be greedy and use it for yourself unless you're absolutely hitting shots. If you start missing 2 to 3 shots, it's best just to ask one of your teammates to pick it up if they're going to be solid with it. Because I pretty much wasted the whole Kraber.
Crack one. I'm batting, I'm batting.
One of them's flesh.
Yeah, no, just chill, just chill.
One of 'em-
Wait for them to drop.
And this log was absolutely huge to be under. It was a little awkward. You see my I have 2 more mistakes coming up. Yeah, no, it's atrocious.
70 on the bloodhound. They have to drop.
Again, another miss.
Should have done. 147.
Stay healthy.
That 147, that's huge. What he did right there.
Should have done again. 100.
And another 100. Rip Currents is absolutely popping off. And this is my fault right here. This all was absolutely terrible. Again, you know, they have that whole high ground. I am hitting them some. But this alt was not necessary for like another 5 to 10 seconds. I could have waited a lot longer until they had to fully push off. And I could have just stayed under the log while the alt was going down on top of them. And my teammates could easily capitalize on it. And here they finally fall down. I just needed the bubble a lot sooner. My bubble placement was also wrong. We came out on top. But I can explain my bubble right now. So with my bubble, alright. I'll wait a few seconds. With my bubble, how I threw it right here. So when circle starts to close, you don't want your bubble to be the same size as the circle. like in the same almost area as the circle. So how I need to do it was throw it out more to zone already, so we had more area to work with inside the circle itself and have bubble cover. Instead, whenever we're trying to go like rotate in and out of the bubble, we're going in the storm, out of storm. And that's not what you want to happen, and that was all around the bubble as well. So it's just poor bubble placement. Thankfully, we were able to capitalize on it. Again, hit him with the melee, back him up some in the storm, and help my teammates. So the bubble melee came in clutch right there at the end. But yeah, there's a lot of mistakes. I know I really don't upload videos like this that much, and this was a really long video to kind of cover. Sorry about that. But again, it's just, even though you make mistakes, you can still come out on top and win, as long as you have patience, if you have the right placement, know when to get out, know when to push and stuff like that, especially when using a sniper. The Kraber was absolutely a terrible choice for me to have. I knew that for a fact. And then, bad alt choice. I had to wait a little longer, because they still have plenty of cover. They didn't have to drop down yet. This is poor alt. This is a poor alt. We hit D3 this game. Huge game. Good accomplishment. Good up in ranks. But yeah, it's just, you have to really think about. It's kind of like a game of chess when you're playing Gibby, when you're using your abilities, especially in game, because you throw your bubble down, now you have to wait a whole like 30 seconds, 40 seconds to get another one back and be able to place it down. So you got to play it smart. You only get one chance of your ult at the very end as well, and I kind of blew that. I had to wait a little longer. But other than that, still able to come out on top. Again, even though you have a bad bubble, still try to play as best your abilities. Bubble melee if you have to. If you see there, I was stuck with the R9. Didn't have a shotgun, so the best thing to do when you don't have a shotgun is try to melee him. And it worked out perfectly. Teammates were able to help, and we won the game. So yeah, it's pretty solid, honestly. Yo, hope you guys enjoyed the YouTube video. Again, it was a little long. I had to pause, rewind certain spots. In ranked games in general, if I do like the whole thought process from start to end, those games take a long time. They can take a while to end, especially when the circle closes down all the way. That's when you know that the game's gone too far. But, there was a lot of mistakes. It was good to do a thought process where I made a lot of mistakes and explain my mistakes and, how I kind of defeated those mistakes as well. Bad bubble at the very end. I was still able to outplay, and I knew my positioning. I bubble meleeed, came out on top of that. My alt was just poor placement, poor timing, I should say as well. So that was a good thing to touch on. Just know when to throw your alt, and just don't try to throw it too soon, or it's just not going to have effect at all, and it could potentially lose you the game, especially if a team has high ground. And lastly, it was just good sniper gameplay. Except for the end, of course, of the Kraber. But other than that, like the actual sniper part, that's how you want to play as Gibby. It's not too bad if you stay back, far away from your teammates, especially if you have two escape characters. And as long as you're putting out damage and helping them out, doing a lot of callouts, you're a big role in that fight, even though you're so far back. And don't be shy to pretty much be solo dolo as Gibby as well. A little separated from your team because you are the bigger character. You do have your faster characters, faster legends to come help you if need be. But you have the more health, you have the huge amount of abilities to take on multiple people if you do get flanked or ran up on. But it's good to stay solo dolo as Gibby. Other than that, I appreciate you guys for watching. Again, sorry for the long video, long outros. I like to talk a lot because I'm a smelly fart, I guess. I don't know. But hope you guys enjoyed, and see you guys in the next video. Peace.